we have been talking about authentic connections. And so we spent some time looking at, why it's important and what are some of the key elements, the safety in the relationship, acceptance, and empathy and compassion. And we talked around those concepts a little bit. But today, what I thought we might do is talk a little bit about communication. Because, I guess communication is, giving and receiving information if you look in the dictionary, but it's so much more than that, and there's so many layers to a good communication. It's so much more than just talking. Of course, we all know that. And it's not always just about the words that are said. And good communication is really a skill that we develop over time. It takes practice and it takes intention. And it's, a really important piece when you're trying to build an authentic connection with somebody is to have those communication skills. So today we're going to talk about what good communication can do for us. What are some of the elements that we kind of sometimes forget about? And finally, what are four other elements that we should just be thinking about when we're communicating with other people that will help us really get that deeper connection with them. So before we go there, my name is Nancy Brooker. I am the Living in Yes coach for women who just feeling overwhelmed by life's demands and secretly feeling that they're not good enough, but are really ready to transform that inner critic, that little voice in their head, and start really embracing life. So they hire me to help them connect to their inner worth and to trust themselves so they can start rocking their relationships and stressing less and really living in yes. So here we go. What can good communication do for us? I mean, we all know it's important, but really it's going to help us build rapport and trust with other people. It's going to help us connect really deeply with them. It helps us express how we're feeling, express our kindness and compassion towards others, express our displeasure, whatever that is. It's all about getting something across to the other person, and also about it getting back across to us, right? And so, yeah, it can build rapport and trust, but it can also divide and create defensiveness, right? If you're getting triggered during the conversation. And it can encourage and uplift us when we are in good, deep communication with somebody else. But it can also discourage us depending on how what's going on in the conversation. So, really important because of what it does and the potential, like the potential for good and also the potential for bad of what it does. So some of the important things that I think we kind of forget sometimes is that, there was this study done, I forget the name of the guy, but he says that it's not just about the words that we say, because I can say, I'm really excited to go, to that party, to that Christmas party. And you can see with my face, my expression, my body, I'm leaning in, you can see I really am excited. And the tonality of my voice. But I can also say, yeah, I'm really excited to go to that Christmas party. And so now you can see from my body language and from my expression on my face and the tonality in my voice that I'm really not that excited to go. So, the tonality, it's about the words. Obviously, what you say, I'm excited to go, matters. But it's very minimal because depending on how you say it, it completely changes the meaning of the words. So your tonality is really important, and your body posture and how your expressions and those sorts of things are really important. And so I think it's important when we are expressing ourselves that we are mindful of our tonality, our words and tonality, our body language, and the actual words that we're saying. But it's also important when we're listening to somebody else to be paying attention to those little clues that they're giving us in that respect as well. So what are sort of four key elements, in a good communication? Well, first of all, we want to be a good listener. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we listen. We're not talking, we're listening. We're letting the other person speak. We're taking in all that nonverbal communication. We're allowing them to say what they need to say and just be present for them, getting ourselves out of the way so that we're not, and also not, not thinking about what you're making for dinner, or what's happening tomorrow. Like being in the present moment, being here and being attentive and present for that person. You can show somebody that you're present by sometimes repeating something that they've said, uh, back to them so that they know that you've been listening. I understand that must have been so hard when your mom went into hospital and you had to take care of your dad. Wow, whatever. Just repeating it back so they understand that you're listening and you're getting what they're telling you. And not interrupting. This is about that person talking. If when you're trying to be a good listener, and really, not offering unsolicited advice, just not interrupting and just listening. Now, the second element would be mastering that nonverbal communication that we just talked about, the body posture, the tonality of your voice, those sorts of things. And the third thing would be managing your own emotions. And this is what we talked about last week. We talked about how to, if you're feeling triggered in a conversation, what you can do. You can, take a breath. You can shift your body. You can tap on some of the discrete tapping points on your body. Obviously not with your hand up here, with your hand on your lap to calm yourself down. Even touching your skin, or touching the fabric on what you're wearing. Just bringing you into the present moment and, following with that breath is really helpful. And the fourth one that I want to say is just stay curious. Ask good questions. Be curious. Thanks. My favorite is, well, what's that like? What was that like for you? That's really one of my favorite questions. That really brings across that you're showing some caring and understanding of that person. So, and just trying to be, interested in what's going on. Now, of course, communication is a two-way street, but we're really talking about how to sort of manage yourself and bring in the understanding from the other person for yourself in this one, so that you can develop that good, authentic connection. So I actually have a new freebie for you, a new ebook, and this one is called Developing a Healthy and Effective Communication Style of Your Own. So it goes through all these different elements of communication. It has a great workbook attached to it that you can work through on your own, and you can get that just by downloading. And that, and I've still got Surviving the Holidays for you with the next season coming up. 7 Simple Ways to De-Stress, and How to Help Your Child with Anxiety. So please take advantage of those. So in December, I thought we'd have some fun with we're just going to have a whole month of happiness tips, and ways that we can create our own happiness. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I will just leave you with a quote from Nelson Mandela. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. But if you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. I just thought that was a nice one. Have a beautiful day. Chat soon.